In the near future, a couple, Alvy and Rachel, live in modern-day New York. They've been thinking about having a baby, but their different work schedules make it difficult to conceive naturally. Alvy is a botanist and teacher who works from home, dedicated to preserving nature's heritage. Rachel, on the other hand, is a tech expert at the prestigious AI company, Folio. At a meeting, Rachel introduces her latest innovation, a deep learning technology that assists users with redundant tasks, such as filling forms and taking notes during meetings. One of the team members expresses concern that this AI tool might replace some jobs, but Alice, a close friend and colleague of Rachel, continues the presentation, highlighting the tech's benefits in helping humans focus on important tasks. After the meeting, Rachel is summoned to the director's office, where she's commended for her outstanding performance and soaring career trajectory. The director suggests that, considering Rachel's role as the primary breadwinner, she might want to consider an alternative to traditional pregnancy, which could impact her work progress. Meanwhile, Alvy's love for nature is evident as he presents a natural fruit to his students, who are accustomed to synthetic fruits. After some persuasion, one student decides to take a bite. Rachel shares the news of being on the waitlist for the pregnancy incubator with her friend Alice, who's thrilled for her. However, Rachel is hesitant to celebrate with Alvy, given his preference for natural methods. Rachel visits her AI therapist, seeking advice on how to break the news to Alvy about the artificial pregnancy. The therapist reassures her that, just like the AI therapy, the pregnancy incubator is a helpful tool that can coexist with natural methods. Before heading home, Rachel meets with Alice at a breathing bar, seeking guidance on how to approach the situation without hurting Alvy's feelings. When Rachel tries to discuss the situation with Alvy, he's more concerned about the disconnection of humanity from nature, lamenting the fact that his students are raised on hologram displays and synthetic foods. Rachel decides not to mention the womb center and instead visits it alone. At the womb center, the Pegasus founder explains the company's mission to create an artificial child incubator, dubbed the Pod, designed for working parents who want to balance their careers with parenthood. The Pod takes care of the heavy lifting, allowing parents to focus on their jobs. Rose, the director of the womb center, showcases the Pod's features, including a mobile app that offers a range of features, such as selected tunes to stimulate brain activity and flavorful fruits to introduce babies to new tastes before birth. Rachel gets home after the tour, after finally revealing the truth to her husband. He gets really angry at her for going through all the process behind his back, considering that they are a couple. Rachel apologizes, and he forgives her, and together they went to Alice's house, who's already gotten a pod for her family. Alice is really excited about the pod, saying that this would make women around the world have more control over what to do with their lives, since natural baby conception is a burden. Her husband walks in with a tool for carrying the pod, which makes him look exactly like a pregnant husband. Alvy's reaction shows he's not buying the idea, but Alice persuades him to get one, since it would eliminate the pains of childbearing. They got home, and Alvy clearly is irritated by the idea of getting a pod instead of having his child in the most natural way. Rachel, on the other hand, insists that getting the pod would be a game changer and advises him to go see Elvis, the AI therapist. This further puts him in a tight spot, because he thinks even if he's going to meet a therapist, it should be a human being and not some robot. Alvy goes for the therapy session because of his wife, but ends up being irritated during the session. In order to help their predicament, Alvy fakes his smile to make his wife happy. During their makeout, Alvy made up his mind to finally get the pod, since it will make her happy. The next day, at the womb center, and during the contract, Rose makes a weird comment.
Will Alvy be the biological father?
After signing the contract, they were taken to the insemination room, where they witness the magical moment of conception through a screen that displays the thousands of sperm fighting to get into the egg. They are excited about the whole procedure, after which they were presented with the zygote in a small cooler. The next day, Rachel has a weird dream where she gives birth to an egg. She's scared about it and goes to her therapist, Elvis. Elvis dismisses the concept of dreams, stating that it has no connection with reality and poses no threat, so she shouldn't be bothered about it. Then, she goes to the womb center and wants to see her baby, but the nurse tells her that the fetus isn't ready for display until 3 weeks. After seeing another potential parent cradling her pod, she wanted to do the same, but feels weird about it. Rachel is already preparing a beautiful room for her unborn child. Alvy is excited and wants to join her in the decorations, but Rachel doesn't like his plants, so Alvy gets really angry and changes his mind, telling Rachel he would go plant it on their old Shell Island house. The idea of the Shell Island house is unpleasant to Rachel, so she intends to mortgage the old house because they never go there, plus they could really use the money. To Alvy, that was the last thing you could bring up, Because of his love for nature, instead, he chooses to keep calm. The next day, Rachel goes for a swim in a pool and meets her fellow woman, who she admires, seeing her swollen belly, indicating she's carrying her baby. She asks her how she feels about the procedure of undergoing. At home, Alvy is surprised to see the pod. Rachel reveals that she wants to feel like she's having a child, so she brought it home. While sleeping, Alvy couldn't bear the sound from the device, so he takes it to the other room and almost drops it. But is quick to grab it back firmly. Rachel ends up gently cleaning the pod, which irritates Alvy. Before they could sleep back, they hear another beep. They were both confused about what the problem was. Rachel looks anxiously at Alvy, asking if he doesn't use the mobile app provided by the web center on how to take care of the baby, and gets out of the room angrily, while Alvy stares at a baby feeds in his hands. The next day, Alvy and Rachel visit the Pegasus Children's School, which has all the futuristic things that would help the kids get smarter. The director also brags about the cleanliness and safety of the environment, indicating that the AIs do much greater work than the human caterers. The couple also learns that in this school, AI does the work, and the children decide whether they are wrong or right. In other words, humans are the ones teaching the AIs. Another couple brings about another question on how their nephew, who's conceived through the pod method, isn't able to dream. Rose tells them that dreams are merely an illusion and don't interfere with reality, so they removed it in the programming. Alvy is busy with his plants, and suddenly, his phone beeps, indicating a notification from the Web Center app for when the embryo is hungry. Alvy carefully carries the pod, while placing another food substance. And he stares rigorously at the pod with its developing child. Alvy gets a pod carrier, which he uses in carrying the child, and he's very happy with it, and even reads stories. He's able to carry the pod and plays with it like a normal baby, and even takes the pod to children's playground. The next day, at the school, the Dean of Students congratulates Alvy for getting a pod. However, Ben came to tell him about the cost of maintaining a real plants, which is way above the school's budget, suggesting that they need to replace the real plants with a hologram to reduce the amount spent on maintenance and fertilizers. Alvy isn't happy about it, and there was nothing he could do. At home while cleaning the pod, Rachel sees some substance on the pod opening. During a get-together, Rachel tells a friend that her husband is being reckless with the baby, as he's carrying it around like that, and she also shares her weird dreams to the group, but a fellow pregnant woman seems to have a weirder dream. That evening, Rachel dreams of being pregnant like a real woman, and admires her swollen belly in front of a mirror. She wakes up to reality afterwards, and decides it's her turn to take care of the pod. However, Rachel wasn't feeling good about the whole situation anymore, and pleads with her husband Alvy to go see the therapist. While in session, Rachel reveals that she's having a hard time adjusting to the demands and needs of being a mother. Alvy assures her that everything would eventually turn out fine because no one really knows the full extent of being a mother. Eliza, on the other hand, requests that they connect the pod uterus to hers, so she could start a therapy for the child inside the pod. This seems more weird. The next day, Rachel gets to her office, forgetting that she's carrying her pod, hits the glass door. Alice, who's irritated by the awkwardness, helps her take the pod to a wall case, where other pods are kept safely. After her work, she heads to the Web Center meeting, where Rose tells them that before leaving, they would leave the pod in the incubation room. After a few days of leaving the pod at the Web Center, the couple couldn't handle the thought of not being with their baby pod. After another weird dream, where Rachel is cradling her baby, she wakes up and decides to bring one of Alvy's plants, the one she once rejected, into the baby's room. Rachel gets to work, and her director reports on her declining work rate, so she demands what's wrong, and Rachel insists that everything's fine. The couple goes to the Web Center to carry their pod, so they can witness their child's birth on the day of delivery. But the Web Center director tells them that the date has been adjusted, since they would be doing some upgrades on that day, and so the delivery day has been adjusted to Wednesday, but they could still visit their pods, and not only that, she also hands both of them a case that contains dream capsule, so they can regulate the type of dreams they want for their child, calling it a dream content. Outside the building, a group gathers, protesting against the company's agenda, demanding it's closed down. Alvin gets an idea. He runs back to the Web Center, and acts like a parent visiting his pod, and steals his own pod. After another weird dream, where she's shopping for a baby, she wakes up, and begs Alvy that they should go to their shell house, so they can both deliver the baby there. Alvy meets with Rose, and tells her his plan to travel to his old house, but she insists that the pod is the company's property, and she makes a comment, indicating that the pod is a borrowed womb, and they wouldn't want anything to happen to it, so they should bring it back safe. Without a word, Alvi leaves her office. Next, the couple packs up few of their stuffs, and leaves for the Shell Island. The couple arrives at the Shell house, where they prepare themselves for the delivery day. On the day of delivery, the pod base shuts out, indicating that the web center has shut out the pod. Rachel wanted them to go back to the city so the company would fix it, but Alvi suggests that they wait until 48 hours, because that's long enough before the pod battery runs out, and also it's already few minutes before their child delivery. The next morning, the pod indicates an ovulation, so the couple tries opening it with a code, but it doesn't work. Alvi wanted to use a hammer to break the pod, but changes his mind, using his hands to separate the pod. They finally reached out to their baby, and they were finally happy. The morning after, as Alvi and their new baby lie sleeping, Rachel carefully packs up the broken pod, and sends it back to the womb center via the mail, ending its role in their lives, in favor of a more natural life, unencumbered by technology, before returning home to cradle her newborn son in bed. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe for more videos.